Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dream Team Professor podcast. It's Thursday of Gameweek 12, and in this episode we're going to just take a look over the European fixtures that have taken place this week from the Champions League, Europa League and Europa League Conference. We'll just go over the top point scorers and key talking points from each of the games. After that, I'll just do a quick team update to show how my best side's getting on. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe for more Sun Dream Team content, or if you're listening on Spotify, please do give us a follow on there as well. So we'll start with the Liverpool versus Napoli game. This was a 2-0 win to Liverpool, but it took two late goals actually to get this one over the line. Quite unlucky as well really. Liverpool haven't won their group, so they'll qualify second, so they might get a more difficult fixture in the next round. But Salah got the star man in this game, and he's really found his form again this month. He's done pretty well, and now he's back to his I'd say his rightful place used to be right up the top, but he's in second at the minute, just behind Haaland. I'm not sure anyone's going to catch him this season, quite a big distance away. But he's the second highest point scorer, and he's averaging 5.8 points per game at the minute. He's got 11 goals, 4 assists. He's only 30% owned as well, which is pretty low for someone of his stature in Dream Team. But 30% owned, I imagine that's going to increase quite a lot. From tomorrow really. We're filming on the 3rd of November and the new transfers go through tomorrow. So I would expect that to increase. And Kane and Haaland's been a slight injury doubt, and Kane's not in the best of form at the minute. So I am expecting that to go up quite a lot. But yeah, it's a great move. Talking about Haaland, it's a great move if you did decide to take Haaland out. A bit risky if you had transfers left, but if you did decide to take him out while he was injured, Salah would have been quite a good call because he really has been putting the goals away lately. But yeah, he got a goal that came from a Darwin Núñez header, just a little tap in after that. And then actually fairly similar, Darwin Núñez got a goal that came from a corner where Virgil van Dijk got on the end of it. And both of these were quite late on in the game. But one thing I did put as well, Virgil van Dijk's his header that pretty much set up the Núñez goal. He's been looking really dangerous from corners at the minute, so he could be someone to consider going forward. But that Liverpool backline has been a little bit on and off of recent times, so bit of a risk. But yeah, I think it was the Nottingham Forest game where he had probably 3 or 4 chances to score headers, and in this one, a really dangerous header at the end. So one to keep an eye on. But other than that, Napoli got a goal that was ruled out for offside. That took a VAR to rule that one out. So Liverpool got away with that one, and they got clean sheets all around really. So that was it was actually Tsimikas in for Robertson, so he got the clean sheet. Konate was at centre back in this game, so he's back. You had Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But yeah, Trent and Konate both didn't get a rating, and I think that's probably because they got booked in this game, so they missed out just on the rating. It was quite close. Konate had a 6.9 and Trent had a 6.7, so they were quite unlucky there. But the other guys got the rating in that, as well as Alisson. The only other note I've put down really is Darwin Núñez got his 6th goal of the season. He came off in the 70th minute though, so it was quite a late appearance from him. So I'd imagine that he's going to start the weekend after coming on so late. But that's all I've got for the Liverpool game. So then on to the Marseille Spurs game that finished 2-1 to Spurs. Nice to see a few of the old Arsenal faces getting a run out, but they didn't quite do the business against Tottenham. You had Alexis Sanchez, Guendouzi and Kolasinac out there, which was quite good to see. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done, but Alexis Sanchez actually looked quite good, I thought, considering he's getting on a little bit now. Couldn't say the same about Kolasinac, though. He missed a point-blank range header right at the end. But we'll start with the Star Man Award. This went to Perisic, and he's doing really well at the minute. So that's his 7th assist now of the season, and that's 3 in a row. So he's got 1 in each of his last 3 games. And we spoke in one of the earlier pods that if he was listed as a defender, he'd be absolutely smashing it at the moment. But as it is, he's on 46 points in total, got 10 points in this game. He's actually the joint 10th highest scoring midfielder as well. So he is doing really well, and it is just such a shame that he's down as a midfielder. Perisic has taken quite a lot of the corners for Spurs at the minute, and they've actually got the most headed goals in the Premier League, so that's quite something to look out for. He's probably going to take more as well now because Son Son went off injured in this game, and it's looking quite bad. I think he's actually going to miss the World Cup, which is quite a shame. He's the talisman for his team, and he's got a fractured eye socket now, so it's not looking good. I think I read that they are expecting him to definitely miss the rest of the games pre-World Cup, and he's a massive doubt for the World Cup. So that was quite sad to see. So yeah, he's off. And one thing I put on that as well, with Son being out injured, you've also got Richarlison and Kulusevski that are out, and you've got Kane on 4 yellow cards now. So I think he's really going to have to be on his best behaviour, because if he ends up getting another yellow card, I don't even want to know who they'd put out really. Really, they've got Bryan Hill, Lucas Moura. I wouldn't know who else they'd put really, unless they move Perisic forward. I'm not too sure, but yeah, if they end up with Kane out as well, that would be really worrying. It was Højbjerg that got the winning goal in this game, but he actually hit the bar earlier in the game as well, so he's looking really dangerous. 4 goals, 4 assists now, and he's actually got the joint most 7 ratings in the game with Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, and that's 12 he's got now, 7 ratings. So yeah, he's having a great season so far, catching us by surprise really with the amount of points that he's got. So his goal right at the end, which was really well taken, that one was assisted by Harry Kane, who ended up with 5 points actually. I thought we were going to get another blank. I've got him in most of my teams. So yeah, quite good to see him get some points right at the last minute. But still no goals in his last 3 games, Harry Kane. So that's a little bit concerning, but the goals always come for him. He's such a good striker. He's going to get on the goals. I did just want to give a special mention actually to Harry Kane, because he's just been awarded Freedom of the City of London for his outstanding achievements in football. So a big shout out to Harry Kane. And well, if we go on to win the World Cup, he's going to have to be knighted as well, isn't he? So outstanding achievements, Harry Kane. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. Other than that though, for Spurs, just quite disappointing at the back again. So I've got Lloris in quite a lot of my teams in goal, and they just don't seem to be keeping clean sheets in a minute, keep conceding goals. And it was quite a good goal actually from Marseille, from an old face from Newcastle, Chancellor Mbemba. So yeah, really good goal from him, but all in all quite disappointing for anyone that's got Spurs defenders in their team. So then on to Man City Sevilla. It's a 3-1 win to Man City, but they lost a clean sheet quite early on, which was an initial disappointment. I had Sergio Gomez, who if you listen regularly you would know I got stung by him. Stuck with him in my team with no transfers, but yeah, nothing for him. He lost the clean sheet points, and I think he ended up going off for Cancelo in the end. So Cancelo got on. Laporte, Diaz started in defence, but didn't get any points there. Diaz had a good header, but that was saved. It was actually Rico Lewis, I think his name is, that started at right back. He scored his debut. That was his first start for Man City, and he got a goal on his debut, so that was quite good to see. But it's actually the main man of the game was Julian Alvarez, who got star man and was obviously replacing Haaland in the lineup. So he got a goal and 2 assists and a 9 rating, which is massive really. 17 points in total for him. Be interesting to see if he does carry on with a run in the side. The rumours are that Haaland should be available in some capacity for the Fulham game, but we're not quite sure. Pep keeps his cards close to his chest. But so far, done quite well in this one, Alvarez. So yeah, they could be quite confident if they don't have him. Kevin De Bruyne got another assist in this game. That was his 12th of the season as well, so he's having a really good season. Really nice pass, that one. But yeah, he's broken into the top 4 overall point scorers. And actually, I've said that 3 of the top 4 players in the game are now Man City. So you've got Haaland, Cancelo and Kevin De Bruyne in that top 4. So really quite City heavy. So really, Haaland, Cancelo and KDB are the 3. If you're gonna try and fit some in, they're the main 3. And it is possible. I've got those 3 in quite a few of my teams. But one you wouldn't have been so keen on this season is Mahrez. He got a goal in this game, but he's still only on 24 points for the season. So he's really having a bad time this year. I put down actually he started at 5.5 million and now he's down to 4.3. We are filming on a Thursday, so he'll probably get an increase likely tomorrow. But yeah, if you've kept with him since the start, you've lost a lot of value. It'd be a bit painful to sell him, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully he can kick on and do a little bit better. But as I said, nothing for the defenders. The only person of note really that got any other points was Phil Foden. I know a lot of people have got him, and he's been quite frustrating the last couple of weeks on fantasy football in general, really. So he missed the Premier League game, or came on for the last few minutes of the last game, didn't get anything. He played the full 90 minutes in this one and got 3 points in total with a 7.6 rating. But where he's played 90 minutes now, it's going to make you doubt whether or not he will start that Premier League game. But really not sure why he's not starting in the Premier League now. Lots of rumours going around, maybe that he's taken his eye off the ball a little bit with the World Cup coming up, but it is all just speculation, really. The other thing I just put down in my notes that is Ederson didn't start in goal either. It was Ortega starting in goal for this one. So on to Chelsea versus Dynamo Zagreb, and that was a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Star man was Chilwell in this game, but it ended on a bit of a sour note because he got a hamstring injury in this one, and now he's expected to miss the World Cup. England not got that many options at left back, so that would be disappointing. He might have fancied himself to get that starting spot. I think it's probably going to be between him and Shaw, or potentially Trippier going over to that left-hand side. But yeah, it's looking like he's going to be ruled out of the World Cup now, which is quite sad to see again. There's a lot of that happening at the minute. But it's a back four for Chelsea. No Cucurella, who I had in quite a few of my teams. But you might start seeing Cucurella possibly playing at left back or left wing back instead of left centre back if Chilwell's out. The only issue there might be with that is that Potter, for some reason, is still liking Sterling as a wing back and Pulisic as wing back. But in this game, he did go with a back four. Sterling played pretty much as one of two forwards with Aubameyang up top. Havertz sort of does rotate a little bit with them. But I think Sterling looks so much better in this game. He did get a goal. He just missed out on the rating points in this game. He got 6.9, which is always horrible and frustrating to see. But that was his first goal in 8 games now. Hopefully he'll start playing a bit more forward, because I do like Sterling as a player on Dream Team. And it's a well taken goal as well. Right in the box, sort of dribbled around a couple players and put it in quite smartly. So that was a good goal, and hopefully he'll get a few more going forward. Aubameyang done quite well as well. He got an assist in this game, but he also hit the crossbar. So he's quite unlucky not to get more. He's only up to with 3 goals, 2 assists in total, and 34 points, which is still fairly low considering he's playing in quite a top team and he is a top player still. So you probably expect a bit more from him, but hopefully he doesn't do it in the next game when he goes back to playing against Arsenal. So yeah, if he could lay off the goals for that game, I'd be quite happy. Back to the defence though, I mentioned that they started with a back four. It was actually Mendy in goal. Obviously Kepa went off injured in the last game, so it was Mendy in goal, and he lost his clean sheet really early on in the game. Quite a bad start for them. And then you had Chilwell, Koulibaly, Chalobah and Azpilicueta in there. But yeah, not really much in the way of points for the defenders. You did have Zakaria, who I think it was his debut, and he scored a goal, but he's not really going to be someone you'd consider as a Dream Team asset. The only other people that might be fairly highly owned would be Mason Mount. He didn't get anything from this game. You did have Jorginho, who's a bit more of a budget pick. He got a 7+ rating, but that was pretty much it from this game. But quite surprising, they did put out quite a strong side for a game that had already qualified. So yeah, I did see quite a few people on Twitter questioning why they did play such a strong side ahead of the Arsenal game. But I think they probably would have just wanted to go into that game with quite a bit of confidence and some form. Then on to Real Sociedad versus Manchester United, which finished 1-0 to Man U. So keeping another clean sheet there, and the star man went to David De Gea in this game, and he's been really good actually. He's now up to the 3rd highest goalkeeper, and he's only 3 points behind Ederson, averaging at 3 points per game. So he's looking like a really good pick, and you can really see that under Ten Hag they are looking a lot better now. It did take a little while and a bit to gel, but they have looked really good, and they're on really good form at the moment. Especially in that defence, you've got quite a few good options now, with Luke Shaw starting quite regularly again. You've got Martinez, who obviously everyone was taking mick out of his height and all that sort of stuff at the beginning, but he's actually gone on to be a really good centre-back and really good purchase for them, really reliable as well. And then Dalot, he's pretty much been one of the best defensive picks, I think, in the game so far this season, and someone who I'm really going to look to bring in when we get those new transfers tomorrow. For me, it's sort of between him and Trippier, who I want to try and get in, and if I can, I'll probably try and get both. But yeah, he got another rating in this one, and it was actually all of the defenders from Man United did get a rating. The only one that didn't was that man Harry Maguire, who actually was deployed. He'd come on as a sub right at the end as a striker. They're just chucking it all forward and trying to get that goal because they needed to win by 2 goals to top the group, but they unfortunately didn't manage to do that. So Man United will actually play an extra game in the Europa League knockout stages. So that might actually work in your favour if you've got some of their defenders, or you might have Rashford potentially. They will have that extra game for not winning the group, but it will be a tough one. So not always guaranteed the clean sheet points. Rashford didn't start this one. He started with Ronaldo up front, who got the assist for a Garnacho goal. So yeah, another youngster scoring in the European fixtures. Bruno Fernandes, he got another rating, but he's still not really contributing with goals and assists, but he is chipping away at the points actually. I had a look because he does seem to be getting ratings quite a lot, and he's actually had 4 out of his last 5 games now, so he's picking up his form. Just needs to start getting some goals or assists really before he's a credible option, I think, in Dream Team. But yeah, other than that, the only things I put back in my notes as well was back onto Dalot. He's got 82 points now, and he's tied with Gabriel Jesus for points. So for the price that he costs, he's really good value, and he's only 8.8% owned. So quite a good opportunity to jump on there and gaining some places in the rankings. So as I said, definitely someone who I'd want to bring in. Then on to my lot. It was 1-0 to the Arsenal against Zurich at the Emirates. And the star man was Kieran Tierney in this one, and he had a really good game. 18-pointer for him, and he got the goal with a long-range volley, half volley. And it was almost a year, they said, since his last goal. I think they said it was December 2021. And he had a really good game. He did look like someone who had a point to prove, where Tomiyasu's pretty much stolen his starting left-back place. And now Zinchenko's also coming back from injury as well. So he's really sort of having to play for that place. So he put a good performance in. We started with Gabriel and Ben White from the regular lot, and Ramsdale as well started in defence. So quite a lot of clean sheets would have gone around there. And Tomiyasu come off the bench too, so I know he's been fairly popular as a Dream Team asset lately. So yeah, quite a lot of clean sheet points to go around from the Arsenal lot. They do seem to be bringing on, if your Arsenal defenders aren't starting, there's a good chance it looks like that they'll come on. More so for the full-back positions. Saliba didn't get on in this game, so it's Gabriel. He did end up with a booking, so he would have lost a couple points there, but overall quite a good showing for the Arsenal defenders. Gabriel Jesus started this game. You had Eddie Nketiah played off the left, and Gabriel Jesus was through the middle. Did play well and had some really good skillful moments and stuff like that. But again, no goal for him, so he's on a little bit of a goal drought at the minute. But I'm not too concerned because he does do so much else off the ball. But really, it was quite a slow game for Arsenal, really, and it did get a bit edgy right at the end. I think PSV were winning their game, so really we needed to make sure that we won this. And we did bring Saka off the bench, which was good to see. He came off after 60 minutes, so he should definitely be fine for the Chelsea game. If they're going to be willing to bring him on for this game against Zurich, he must be fine for the Chelsea fixture on Sunday. So that was quite good to see. But yeah, really not that much else. Erdegaard, come on, he's fairly popular, but he didn't have enough time to do anything. And yeah, Tomiyasu, the only thing I would say about Tomiyasu is it's looking like he might have picked up an injury in this game. He came on the 73rd minute, and then he went off again on the 88th minute. So not looking good there. Might be someone you have to take out. We'll wait and see how serious that one is. But yeah, not looking good with him being injured. But I'm sure Kieran Tierney will be happy after his goal. He might be able to get his place back in the team. But for Arsenal fans and Arsenal in general, probably will be a big miss. The only other person I'll go back and mention is Ramsdale. So he looks like he's getting the Europa League games. Obviously, this was the last one now, and they won't have the extra fixture. But Ramsdale's been getting these Europa League games now since Turner's been out injured for the last couple. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Ramsdale getting starts in the Europa League going forward now. So once we reach that knockout stages, I'm not sure whether or not they will trust Matt Turner in the knockout ones. It's still, I know Arsenal are doing well at the minute, but the lure of winning the Europa League and then getting that Champions League place is still, I still think that's quite a good opportunity. So I don't think it's like we're going to throw it all at the league. I still think it's quite a high priority that we try and go as far as we can in this and hopefully win it. So I think Ramsdale might get the nod going forward. Then on to the last game. We won't spend that much time on it because it was West Ham who'd already topped the group in the last game. So they got a 3-0 win against Steaua Bucharest. Fornal's got the star man, and he was one of the few players that play fairly regularly. So he got 2 goals in this game, 18 points in total. But really, other than that, they got the clean sheet points. But I'd only say it was really Sofal, Fornals and Lanzini that were sort of regulars. Ben Johnson as well played, and he got an assist in this game. But really, I didn't think there was too much else to add. I can't see that there'd be many people that have got players from this lineup in their team, so we won't spend any more time on West Ham. Right now, I'll reluctantly move on to a team update. This is my side that's in the Dream Team Tonic mini league and a mini league with a few of my friends as well. It's got 722 points overall as the total, 48 for the game week. But I was actually on 38 points just after the weekend, so I've only gained 10 points from the European fixtures, which is a really poor showing. We'll start with the goalkeeper in Hugo Lloris, and he's been absolutely useless for me in October. He's definitely on the chopping block. Cucurella, he didn't play in this game, so no points again for him, and he's finished on -3 for the week. So yeah, he's not looking too good, but Chilwell's out, so he might get some improvement there. But yeah, not happy with him, to be honest. I've got Saliba, who didn't play in the Europa League. Throughout the Europa League, really, it's been a bit of a 50-50 between him and Gabriel, and he didn't play this game. And then Sergio Gomez, who I speak about every episode. I need him gone. No points. He did finally get a game, but he's been terrible since I brought him in. So yeah, he's on the chopping block too. Cancelo finished up with 5 points, but didn't get anything midweek. Like I said, De Bruyne has probably been my bright point of the week. So he got 18 points total. Saka though, didn't get anything in this game. He got 5 points in the previous game. But to be honest, I'm just quite relieved that he's going to be fit and available for the Chelsea game. So I'll take that as a small win. And then I've got Mbeumo and Almiron in the midfield. I probably do want to move on Mbeumo, but I'm happy with how Almiron's been since I brought him in. And Newcastle have got some good fixtures as well coming up. Harry Kane and Haaland up top. I'm hoping Haaland will come back in. A little bit disappointed with Kane, to be honest. I think that's mostly where Salah's been doing so well. That's been a real kick in the teeth for me. Salah I had at the start of the month, but I took him out for Cancelo. That's turning out to be a bad move. Salah finished with quite a few more points. I think it was 20 odd more points for the whole of October. So a bit disappointing there, but yeah, overall, looking at this team, what I might want to use my November transfers on. Looking at my team at the moment, though, I've got Hugo Lloris that I really would like to move out. He's got Liverpool in the next fixture, which is probably not going to end well for them. They really haven't looked solid in October, so I would hope to get him out. Maybe look at someone like David De Gea or Nick Pope, potentially. I'd say maybe Ramsdale. We have got that Chelsea game, which would be quite difficult. But then we've got Brighton and Wolves, which are two fairly good fixtures, so he could be an option. Cucurella, still undecided, but Chelsea's fixtures get really tough. They've got Arsenal, Man City and Newcastle. So again, he could be someone I'd look to move on. And then Sergio Gomez as well. So the sort of the defenders that I've got my eye on at the minute are Dalot and Trippier. Both of them have been fantastic in terms of ratings, but even Star Man awards as well. So They're the main two that I'm going to look into bringing in. I might do a separate transfer video just when I've got a bit more of a plan of who I'm going to bring in. But yeah, Delo and Trippier are two that I'm really going to want to target. And then potentially De Gea, Pope or Ramsdale in goal. Sergio Gomez, he's out. Last chance was weeks ago for him, since he got that red card and killed me. De Bruyne I'm happy keeping. Saka I'm happy keeping. And Buemo's a tough one because of his price point. I think he's at like 2.2 at the moment. He has got Nottingham Forest as his next game as well, which could be quite a good game for him, but he hasn't been great recently. The only other people I'd look to bring in potentially of that sort of price point could be a Iwobi or Anthony Gordon potentially. Everton's fixtures look fairly good. I think they've got Leicester, and then they've got back-to-back games against Bournemouth as well. So they're two that I might have my eye on. I'll have a little look and shop around in the bargain bin to see who we can get to replace him. Almiron, like I said again, I'm happy with. But then Harry Kane as well. It's tough to decide what to do with him. Spurs are really lacking in attacking options now without Son, Richarlison. I'm not sure how close Kulusevski is to returning, but it could either work either way. If they do well, there's a good chance that if they score, it's going to be from Kane, unless it's these set pieces that the centre backs keep getting on the end of. But there's a good chance without someone like Son on the pitch that Kane is going to get star man and be the main man. But I just have to get through that Liverpool game. There's a Liverpool game, and then they've got Forest and Leeds, which should be two good games for him. Hopefully Haaland can get back fit. But the only main thing is going to be missing out on Salah. I would like to find a way to get Salah in, but I don't really think it's going to be by taking out Haaland if he is fit. So it's going to give me something to think about there. The only other option I'd get to bring Salah back in would potentially mean losing Cancelo, which I don't really want to miss out on a City defender. Fulham, Chelsea, Brentford are three pretty good fixtures, and I think at least a couple of them are at home. So yeah, it's giving me something to think about. But yeah, obviously there's no way I get Salah in this team without making some big sacrifices, and it's probably going to involve either Cancelo, Kane or Haaland. For me, I think De Bruyne is not moving anywhere in this team. He's just been so good lately. But it's going to be so painful taking out Haaland. He's the one we've got to watch, but I just think if you take him out, he's going to punish you. So really, realistically, Cancelo or Kane are probably going to be the two that I'm going to have to move if I'm going to bring Salah into my team. But I've got no transfers at the minute, so we'll wait for tomorrow morning, see how the price changes go. We'll get the new transfers, and then maybe I'll do a slightly shorter video once I've decided how I'm gonna use those for good. And then yeah, just attack those last few fixtures before the World Cup break, and we get that wild card. Got a lot of catching up to do, so 65k down to 83k is a painful one. So in that winter break, the World Cup break, I'll come up with a sort of plan to see how I can improve, but also see what's a realistic target overall to finish at. So yeah, we'll go again from there. And as I've mentioned, the World Cup as well. The World Cup game has launched now as well, so you'll be able to see that on, I think it's both browser and app now. If you update your app, you'll be able to get the World Cup edition. So yeah, let me know if you're going to be playing the World Cup edition of the Sun Dream team, and who you think your best picks were going to be so far. I've not drafted a team, but yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. One more thing to mention as I wrap this episode up. Head over to the Dream Team Tonic podcast if you haven't listened to them before. They're on YouTube, Spotify, all the main podcast channels, but you can also get them on Twitter too, the Dream Team Tonic. I'm going to be featuring on their podcast this weekend, so really excited to be joining the boys there. Been listening for I think a couple of years now to their podcast, so really looking forward to having a chat with those guys, and you'll catch us on there. Thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the Dream Team Professor podcast. If you did enjoy watching it, please do give us a like on the video or subscribe to the channel as well. And if you're listening on Spotify, if you could give us a follow on there, that would be great too. I'll probably drop a slightly shorter video on Saturday, just summarising what my transfer plans were and what moves I've made. I'll have a better idea of it after the Friday price changes take place. I'll be able to see what I can afford since I used all my transfers previously. But after that, I'll join you at the start of next week, just reviewing the weekend's football. So I'll see you on that one. Cheers.